And we are back. We are Derby City Fandom podcast, and we are going to do the House of Dragon review, season finale, season 2.
Oh boy,
Hot
boy.
I can actually say I am going to be a little bit more passionate about this particular episode as opposed to a previous one we may or may not have just recorded.
Oh gosh, yes. Give that one a listen to. This one will come out a little later just so that this joke can make sense.
Yeah, of course.
You're welcome.
Thanks. But yes, we are doing House of Dragon season 2 finale. Gentlemen, what you all think of the season finale? First impressions. Make it short and sweet.
I liked it. I'm still a big fan of the Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons. I will admit that there was a slight let me down. It seemed like it needed a better cherry on top. It needed some action or something. But
really?
Yeah, but overall, I was still a fan. I really enjoyed the season. I really enjoyed the series. I really enjoyed the acting. I love all the dragons. I love everything about it. I feel like the finale, it seemed like the whole season was building up to something. It didn't really have that pop.
It's building up to the next season.
But it worked on me, so I'm excited for season 3.
Yes. Now, my first impression is they somehow managed to shoehorn the three-eyed raven into this season somehow. I kind of figured that they might have done some like weird witchcraft magic things with the Heron Hall basically driving the guy insane, tripping balls as you had so lovingly called it the last time. And it's funny to see him go so completely full circle that he becomes sane again and is actually joking about it to one of the other guys. It's just like, yeah, no, this place will have you barking at the moon if you let it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about Heron Hall. That's probably
Heron Hall
favorite part of the whole
stole
season.
the back end of the season.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Colin?
Overall, the series was good. I enjoyed watching it. I would say it's fair. I kind of wish it was better, but it's okay. That's season 2. It's not like it's gonna get any worse. I think it can only get better from here. So yeah, the finale for me, there's a lot of flip of the script, if you will. A lot of just like what the fuck just happened, but also in a good way, but also in a bad way. But we can get into that deeper later on. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the show. It definitely can only get better from here. I hope indeed.
So, all right. I think the last time we stopped talking about this on the show, the big fight had just occurred
At Rook's Rest?
Sunfire, yeah, Rook Rest. And all of the trauma that particular battle had on all the people that managed to survive. One of which was the person that we all said was dead, except for Jake. So kudos to you, Jake. The guy is indeed a dragon and did not die from the fire like all good Targaryens tend to do.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out life, man. He doesn't know what he's living for now. I mean, he's can't move. He's missing a cock, allegedly. No.
Yes.
It just, when he urinates, it goes down his leg.
He doesn't have a dragon anymore.
Doesn't have a dragon. I think that's the bit that kind of hurts the most for him. Because much like the
That's different from the books too. I think the dragon's still alive in the book.
Just from the show, like right before they go into battle, you see that he has like a genuine like attachment to his particular dragon, whereas like they're like smiling and kind of like playing with each other, like nudging each other, and like kind of cute for this giant death lizard that melts people and like eats entire herds of all kinds of stuff. But I think the more interesting bit is where that fight leaves us. So Kristen Cole, after that fight, is basically out of the series, out of the season. Like, he has so much less screen time.
Less screen time, yeah, but I think It has more to do with I think it's more has to do with PTSD because
Oh, he's going through
he
it.
thought he pretty much had that battle in the bag because they had a giant ass dragon on their side, but
2 of them, in fact.
Yeah, I love.
yeah. Well, he wasn't expecting
He wasn't expecting the king to show up.
He thought it was just gonna be him, and he just thought
Him
he was
and
gonna
Vhagar.
just burn a castle down essentially, and go back home and curl up with the
Allison.
no, wait.
Yeah, Allison.
We're
Yeah.
talking about Cole here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm mixing Eamon up with Cole. My bad. No. Yeah. He was basically just gonna curl up with Allison.
So I love the finale. Speaking of Kristen Cole, the finale episode they show them he kind of chilling in the woods and he's sitting on the tree. I think he's like sharpening his knife or whatever.
And
His
he's
sword.
just like thousand mile like Vietnam stare.
Yeah, and Hightower's giving him some shit. Like you can tell Hightower's just like
okay, I caught everybody knows you're fucking my sister. Stop.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing?
And Colin put it right. And Sir Kristen Cole's like going through some mental shit, like going through some PTSD. And I don't think Hightower is he's being like an arrogant, pompous ass a little bit. And I guess rightfully so, the dude's banging his sister. But Kristen Cole's just like, listen, we just unleash these beasts. Like, it's no longer our war. Like, we're all going to die. And then you see Hightower, it finally, like, seeps into him. He's like, oh, shit. Yeah, we're all going to die.
Yeah, we're all gonna fucking die. And then like I thought like when they panned out further with the camera and they just show him like Cole sitting on the log and Hightower facing the opposite direction, I thought they were gonna have some more monologue between each other when they panned out, but he literally kind of just like turns back around and I guess sits down on the log with him. It's just like, yeah, this all just suck in onto me too. Yeah, no, we're all gonna fucking die.
I thought it was brilliant writing. It's like they show this confrontation where he's like, and then after this little quick conversation, it's like, yeah, none of this matters, bro.
It's like,
there's a bunch of flying lizards that can breathe fire. They're gonna kill tens of thousands of us. And he just sits down next to him. He's like, "Fuck, you're right. We're all dead.
Yeah, we're all gonna fucking die, 100%."
Yeah.
Oh
Man. Gosh.
It's good writing. It's good writing. I give him credit.
It was comical. In that last episode, I might be jumping ahead, but
we can go in any direction. Go ahead.
we can jump all over the place. That's the whole point of a podcast. But like earlier in the season, we see Rhaenyra. She makes her way to King's Landing. She goes into the not temple, but the church.
The church room.
The
Sept. Yes, thank you. And so that's where she and Allison have a legit conversation. She has that whole mix-up between Aegon the Conqueror and her son, Aegon.
Sure.
And so, like, she tells her that's just a story that, my dad used to tell me.
About Aegon the Conqueror.
And then she kind of had that.
That dumbfounded realization. It's
Yeah.
like, I've been wrong this entire time.
But
haven't
then,
I?
but she backtracks and is just like, you know what, we're already fucking in this. Fuck it, let's just go. And
There is no
continue
going
on the
back.
war. I'm not taking this back. I'm gonna fuck you up. You're gonna lose this war. And then Rhaenyra ends up leaving. And then we fast forward to the season finale, and it's just like,
Where
okay,
she visits her.
yeah, no,
It's flipped.
she gets some passage from the maester and shows up at whatchamacallit and has a conversation, a honest conversation, I can say, with Rhaenyra, and she's like, well, what do you want me to do? Like it was a real honest conversation that I actually enjoyed the dialogue between the two.
I didn't see that coming.
Oh, her just being like, I just want to be done with all of this, and I want to be able to like breathe freely and not have to worry about being burnt to a crisp.
I saw that coming because if you recall the episode before, she goes on this pilgrimage out to the woods. She's like, man,
I thought she was gonna kill herself.
Yeah, because all of that is straight up out of Macbeth, like some Ophelia, like wearing the white dress, hair, Ophelia, both in the classic piece of art and just in Shakespeare.
Yeah, she's just chilling, man. She's floating in the water, and so I knew something was coming for her character.
I wasn't expecting her to like be like face up.
Yeah,
Full disclosure. I was thinking she was going to drown or something.
Yeah, because like
I
she's
didn't think
kicked
that.
off the council, and basically she has no
power anymore.
power, no place in King's Landing whatsoever, and nobody really listens to her. So I was like, okay, she's just gonna go off like on a pilgrimage and just
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I'm not feeling myself, and I have no purpose in life, so I'm just gonna walk out into this lake and I'm gonna
And keep
drown
walking.
myself and and just keep on swimming and keep on swimming. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I didn't have
Finland
that
was-
vibe, but the whole scene, like when she's in the woods in the lake, I thought it was kind of peaceful. She's like, she's calm, she seemed happy. She's like, yeah, and then her Queen's Guard's like, hey, when you go back to the city? She's like, I don't know, maybe never. I was like, oh. So I knew something was up. I was like, this chick might just do something crazy or just flee or do whatever she wants, like, go piss off the wall or something. So I knew something was up, and I didn't expect she was going to sneak out to go talk to Rhaenyra. I didn't call that.
See, I thought she was trying to get passage for Aegon so they can like sneak him out of the city, like with Laris or whatever the fuck his name is.
Jarys. However you pronounce it. I don't
Whatever the fuck the cripple's name is. Anyway, I thought she was trying to get like passage for him so that they could both leave. And what about Helena? Like, where's she at?
I think she's.
I feel bad
Last
for
time
her.
we saw her,
stuck.
she was
she's
having
the only one there.
She's the only one there because Aemon was trying to get her to claim a dragon, right?
No, she already has a dragon.
She already has a dragon.
No, she had to
She
ride
just-
it.
She's
to ride
just
it.
a
That's
pacifist. She wants no part of the
right.
war.
Right.
And even
She's-
Allison, it's just like, what the hell are you doing to your sister? Like, she's the only one of us that legitimately is like trying to not get involved in any form, and here you are trying to make her an awful person.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'd become an awful person if my freaking child's head was cut off.
Oh yeah, the fact that she's
right
still
in front of me.
that's kind of one of the weird bits, is that she's kind of like, so like, well, it happened. I'm not going to grieve anymore past like what I already have. Like, she just kind of like accepts it and moves on, which is both like kind of like weirdly healthy, but also it's just like, what the hell?
Right.
Not something you would expect, especially out of this particular series, this franchise. Like, everybody holds grudges like something else, but it's like, okay, the person that actually did the killing is dead. And, my uncle is going to get what's coming to him because, if my brother has anything to say about it, then things are going to burn. And lo and behold, things start to burn quite a lot by the end of it. But I think the more interesting bit is what we see from the opposition, the Rhaenyra's side of things. Most of the back bit of the season 2 here is just them trying to figure out how to not lose this war horribly.
Right.
And they come up with a couple of decent ideas, and one of them, probably the most engaging one, happens purely by chance with Seasmoke going out and finding a writer for himself.
Yeah.
Like, he or she just gets bored of the people that keep trying to do it like the traditional way, and he just goes and does it himself.
Yeah, Adam.
Yes, Adam of Hull.
Yeah. I thought that was very interesting, and then she receives word, I guess, through like a raven or whatever, and so she basically rides out her dragon and
It's just like, I don't believe this happened. But I mean, they're part Targaryen anyways.
Yeah. I think
well, yeah,
he's Corus's bastard son. Is that right?
right.
One of them.
One of them. So yeah, I thought that was actually kind of cool, and the whole concept behind having a warrior or a bunch of
The
soldiers
lowborn.
of bastards.
Yeah, man. That's not gonna end well.
No.
Well,
it's like, you see,
obviously,
that becomes the big sticking point.
they're they're just watering down their bloodline essentially. But whatever.
And then
Let's give these peasant folks some dragons and see what
See how-
happens.
well, it's like
I'm sure they'll be loyal.
well, you see, we actually see like what that ends up doing. Like we have the one guy who's
Ulf.
who is just a shitter with his newfound power in life.
He's there to party, man.
He's there to party. But then, like, the other guy that managed to pass, the one that got the bigger of the two dragons, the Bronze Fury, Hugh, he's actually just like, what are you doing? Like, you're making yourself look like a fool. And it's just like, just because you're the rider of the dragons, like, when you're not on the dragon, you're still just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And like in defense of like
Rhaenyra's son, he knows what's up. If he was smart, he would just kill the Ulf guy right there. You know when they're talking in the whatever.
See, I think
he should have just killed him right then and there. I'm like,
no, he is
right,
smart.
I don't trust you.
He
knows.
Yeah, no, he is 100. He
He's
knows
thinking right.
exactly what he's doing. He's using them as basically soldiers, exactly what he should be doing. Like, you know, if he was immature and impatient and just a little punk ass bitch, he probably would have killed him. But he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He
realizes he needs the dragons.
He needs the dragons, and so yeah, with Ulf, Hugh, and Adam. You know, with the whole concept of like all three of them not really having like that experience or knighthood, if you will, like
the lineage,
you can't really expect them to like be able to ride these dragons, have this knightly vibe about them and everything, and spent what they say like
days.
2 days.
It was 2 days from when, or like maybe a week at best.
You can't
like from that particular scene. It's 2 days. Be like, we are expecting him to respond within 2 days. Learn your different High Valyrian words so you can communicate with your dragons, and like learn your moves so you don't go flying off the thing because of like centripetal force and all that jazz. And we might just stand a chance against Vhagar, because none of them are worried about Aemond himself.
Oh,
it's mostly just Vhagar.
Aemon's batshit crazy, man.
Oh, he definitely is.
He was a little pissed off in the season finale.
Oh, for sure.
Just a bit.
Just,
he just goes, finds a random town and burns it to the fucking ground.
Let's just go crisp some innocent people. And then the best part is they show Vhagar the dragon. It's like you can tell Vhagar's enjoying it too. I was like, this is one messed up duo.
Yeah, well, Vhagar is sadistic, generally in nature. Like there are not too many dragons in the actual books that go about eating the other dragons.
Yeah.
I love this show.
So let's take a step back. So Alicent obviously visits Rhaenyra, and she basically agrees to open the gates to King's Landing and let them enter and
have them enter as conquerors, as she say.
Enter as conquerors and basically take Aegon's head.
That's the only way it's going to end.
That's the only way it's going to end.
Son for son. It's brought up again.
And she agreed by shaking her head. She didn't say yes, but she just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Obviously, that's not going to happen from what we see later on, like the last few minutes of the show.
Right, but she doesn't know that.
But she does not know that. That is
that
correct.
happens after the fact.
So I think that's it's very interesting. So that's why I'm eager to see what happens in season 3. But at the same time, I feel like they dropped the ball and didn't have that cherry on top, as you said, Jake, for the finale. But at the same time, it'll be 2 years from now before we get to that point. So.
Yes. So
I mean, they were kind of clever with the ending. They showed all the armies marching and the navies sailing and the dragons preparing. So like, it was clever, but it wasn't like that's the one negative about this whole season was I don't know if you guys disagree with this, but I thought the pacing was off. Like it was definitely boring. It was like build up, and it never really built up to anything. Like a couple times it did, and I think that was just the one issue I had with the show was. The whole season they were building up, and we get to the finale, and the build up was just to watch the armies march.
Yeah,
I was like, man, Like, where's the big 30-minute battle? Like, I don't
So
know. I guess they should have had
Hold
something.
on, hold
for
on,
us.
King. Let me just say one thing.
Okay, you
So,
go
yes,
ahead
I
before I
agree
go.
with you. The whole build-up thing did honestly grind my gears. But they showed the armies marching. They showed the Starks marching. They showed the Lannisters marching. They showed they had Corlys and Alan on the ship heading towards the blockade. But then we are also introduced to this pirate chick, whatever the fuck her name was.
No, that's a guy.
That's supposed to be a guy, but they replaced it.
I mean, the person, the actress might be female, but the character
Right,
in the show is male.
right. Anyway, so that whole pirate, like, dude, they had the little fight in the mud pit. Freaking what? She couldn't even say his name. It was like Tylen. Freaking
he was trolling.
Tyrion.
She was trolling him for sure.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, a little bit of gaslighting too, which
Oh,
I was
yeah.
in for it.
You just like the end scene. She's like, "You gotta fuck up my wives." He's like, "How many wives?
How many wives do you have?
Yeah, no, he gets a honestly couple of cheaty hits in after he gets his ass basically beat the entire thing. He just throws like a sucker punch, and he's just like, okay, you actually do have some moxie. I'll follow you, even though I was like bodying you in this fight.
That's funny.
Oh boy, but that's interesting to say the least. So we also see of all the subplots, I think this is the only one that I cared the least for is the daughter that got sent away to go hang out in the one castle with the one lady that
Veil.
really was just like,
The veil, yeah.
yeah, go party in the veil, and she's just like, I don't like you. You need to leave.
I thought it was funny that you have this princess and she just kind of like escapes randomly. Like no one gives a shit. Like no one
Oh
cares.
yeah, she just runs
Like
off.
they don't. She just runs off, and I was like, whatever.
It's not brought up.
I'm not gonna look for it.
That is one of my nitpicks, is that aside from like a couple of scenes where they say it's like, okay, in 2 days' time this is going to occur, we need you to be ready. You don't have a good sense of how much time is passing between like each individual thing. I know the idea is that all of it's happening relatively in the same moments.
Yeah, that's Game of Thrones.
But
in
that's
general,
Game of
though.
Thrones in general. So it's just like, okay, how long has this little girl effectively just been out in the woods, whereas she's been, desperate enough that as soon as she sees water, she just goes head first into the thing?
Yeah. Season 3, do you think she's gonna claim the dragon?
Probably.
Colin,
I mean,
you think the dragon's gonna eat her?
she better freaking claim that dragon, because so much time was spent filming this particular individual character running, like you said, jumping headfirst into a freaking pond, and I'm trying
I
to
would
think,
laugh my
like
ass.
I'm thinking to
I would
myself like,
laugh my ass off. Season 3, episode 1, they just show her
She
getting
just gets
eaten.
okay, that would honestly be hilarious.
I was
But,
kind of expecting it.
but at the
just
same
because.
time, like
Be
the
awesome.
Eagle Scout in me is like thinking, all right, are you gonna look up further stream, see if there's a dead animal, and you're drinking downstream? Like you could easily die from some bacteria or some. I don't know.
She's Targaryen. She's a fire and blood. She'll
That
be fine.
has nothing to do with it. But anyway, that actually is legit thought that I had. But anyway, then she sees the freaking dragon, and I'm just like, okay, finally. Are we actually going to see like an interaction between the two? No, we don't.
No, that's the big cliffhanger.
That's one of the cliffhangers.
I guess the second of the big cliffhangers, aside from the battle of like 7 armies coming.
It was cool. It was cool to watch all the armies marching.
Yeah.
Like I'm not denying that.
So
The best part of the
best part of the back end of this season for me is definitely everything going on at Heron Hall.
oh my
and the
gosh,
river.
it was so funny.
Man, that
it is
kid got
so
some
funny.
moxie on him, man. You gotta love it.
I loved everything about Harrenhal. All those scenes were hilarious, and Damon's just tripping the whole damn time.
He's
man.
just like, who the hell are you to try to wake up a king in the middle of the night? He's just
I
like,
mean-
I don't know, the army you're trying to recruit.
I mean, there's a scene where he had sex with his mom, so that was
That's odd.
odd, to say the least.
Yes, thank you for finishing that the correct way.
Anyway, so there was that scene, and then there's a couple interactions between him and his brother, which I actually kind of enjoyed. Those, I think there's something like 2 or 3 little hallucinations.
The
if you will.
dialogue about the crown and the weight of kingship.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they brought him back, and I think they brought the younger Rhaenyra back for half a second too.
Yeah,
and so that was kind of cool too that they're bringing them back into the fold, even if for a brief, short period of time.
I like
but-
that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all good. So like pretty much from like episode 2 to the finale, like he's at Harrenhal tripping his balls off.
I love it. I'm here for it.
So like in one hand, I thought it was hilarious. I was like, okay, what the fuck? We're back at Harrenhal. He's tripping. Clearly, he's having a good time in this freaking scene. I actually want to see him not tripping and actually trying to rebuild Harrenhal and recruit an army and that kind of stuff.
And we
That's
do
the whole
get it.
point. We do eventually get it, but
maybe not as quickly as we needed.
I honestly thought it was kind of dragged out.
Oh, not me. I was having a good old time with the whole Harrenhal.
I thought they could have shortened that. I mean, maybe to like three or so episodes. They could have just like had that little trip stuff and kind of like condensed it more. But like that was 6 episodes where he was hallucinating, and then eventually goes to the Godswood with freaking the one chick.
The witch.
Alice Rivers.
Yeah, and he basically sees into the future, basically what Rhaenyra's father told her.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming, essentially, and he sees the three-eyed raven. He sees Rhaenyra on the throne, and we see Daenerys
The Night King.
we
Sees
see
it
the
all.
Night King. You see Daenerys with the 3 dragons, and all this time we're under the impression that he's trying to build an army up for himself so that he can claim to be king, right?
I took it as that he was. Like,
Well,
I took it as a character arc. Like, when he was there, he's like, I'm doing my own thing, man. But
Yeah.
Alice Rivers and Harrenhal and
That
these
was the
magical
point.
powers, they were trying to mend him and push him in the right direction. I'm like, no, this is actually bigger than you. You're just part of the story, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what they call it. Like,
You're just a part of the story. You are a piece on the board.
and he finally connects, and I think the dots have connected for him. Like, I think he is
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end, like he bends the knee, he's loyal. Like, I truly do believe that. I think what he was saying with the winter is coming in his visions. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, which I brought this question up to Jake right before you arrived.
I'm calling.
Thank you. Anyways, has the visions involving the three-eyed raven and the stuff of the future, has that ever not come to pass? As far as I know, every time that they look into the future with the three-eyed raven stuff, it's always happened, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. At least from the show, yeah.
Okay.
It seems to be pretty
Now,
crystal ball prediction.
yeah. Now that's in hindsight, yes. Game of Thrones came out before House of the Dragon did, so they can just pull from that old footage. Fine, that makes sense. But did it make sense back in Game of Thrones? I don't necessarily remember. That's been too long.
If you didn't read the books, then you probably, and hell, it's not even done from the book. So there's a lot of people that, still, when they were creating the final seasons of Game of Thrones, they didn't really know who was going to end up on the throne.
So
And there was theories, but
So to answer your question, Kenny, yes, for the most part, the three-eyed raven predictions for the future are mostly accurate. However, if you recall in Game of Thrones when, Brad the Broken, God, it's so stupid. Anyways, he sees into the past and actually starts to put together John's lineage and whatnot, and he starts saying that he's a Sand and he's a bastard from Dorne, when actually that's not true, because the maester that wed the Targaryen dude and the Stark chick
Mm-hmm.
put in his private diary that he wed those two in secret. So like, yeah, he can predict all the stuff that's going to happen in the past or in the future, and then look into the past. But you have to have all the information at hand, because that's the vibe that we were getting from Brandon, because that's what he was able to put together until Sam came in and said, well, actually, no, in this private diary, he wed them in secret. And then he actually goes back again and looks into it, and it's like, oh, Sam's actually right.
Yeah.
So for the most part, to answer your question, yes, but there's...
With the information provided to him, he's able to make accurate to a point predictions.
Right.
Okay.
So that, yeah, I thought that was a good question.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I don't know. I find it fun that this guy just goes kind of crazy, so crazy that he comes full circle and just like, becomes a good guy. Like he comes out of the whole.
I don't know if I call him a good.
Well,
guy,
nobody's
but
technically good in Game of Thrones. That's why everybody likes this show, because everybody's just a different shade of evil.
I think he's kind of found his place.
He's
in the story
accepted
now.
what his position and everything actually is.
And he says it right, and I take him for his word. Like, I think they did a really good job writing his part in this season. Where like at the very end, I thought that was a brilliant cherry on top for just that one character. Because he says it all. He's like, hey, your brother, my brother named you his heir. Winter is coming. Like, we're just part of the story, yada, yada, yada. And I took it as he meant his word there.
Yeah.
Doesn't make him a good guy. Like, I'm sure he's still, now he murdered his wife and killed an innocent baby. And
Oh, yeah. He's not a good guy. He's not excused to the horrendous things he's done. But he's coming around, right? So you can't help but to kind of like start rooting for him. But, oh boy, the Rivermen, I think, were more entertaining to me, especially when they have like the big scene of like, okay, the kid, Grover was the grandfather that died.
I think he's a Tully. I don't remember which one though.
But like, just him being like, I don't much like you, and he says it to his face. He's just like, I don't like you. I don't much care for you. But I am a man of tradition and my word, so I will swear my fealty. But understand that I hate you.
Yeah. And then basically the one dude that was kind of doing like Damon's bidding.
Yeah.
I
Doing stuff that the crown cannot be seen doing.
Right. So that guy. And so I thought it was funny that they bring him forward and like kind of like capture him and whatnot. And so Damon just kind of like hesitated for a second, and then he ends up drawing his sword and like fucking, I guess he like cut his head off. I don't know. He kills him, obviously, but
Blackwood.
Yeah. Blackwood, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of like that character, and kind of sad to see him go, but he didn't really.
He played his part in the story, and it was time for him to die.
He
It
did.
was very Game of Thrones-esque.
He did.
He did now.
Yeah. Who else are we gonna see die? I'm excited.
Well,
actually, let's roll with that. Who else?
Okay.
Who else are we gonna see die? Like coming up to who is gonna be the first one to die in season 3? Who do y'all think?
the Sea Serpent.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's gonna be a lot of deaths.
Ooh. So you think he is gonna be the first death in season 3?
Well, the first main character death.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's not going to be either of the two brothers or nephew, uncle, whatever. They have to be around for a while, just because that's how the actual story of goes. That they eventually end up killing each other.
Yeah.
It might very well be Kristen Cole. It might very well be Allison. But I think right now there is more going on with the Sea Serpent versus the pirates and the blockade that is going to take up the first bit of the 3rd season.
Oh yeah, no, I'm actually very excited. I hope there's some water battles, ship battles.
Yeah.
For
We
sure.
haven't seen too much of that in Game of Thrones.
The
I don't
only
remember
time
it.
like we really see that is when in Game of Thrones when they use the dragon fire, not dragon fire, the green fire. What is that called?
I thought it was called Dragonfire.
Whatever. When the ships are attacking King's Landing.
Wildfire.
Wildfire, thank you. That's really the only like ship battle that we see, and that's not even
Later on, season 6, there's one where Theon Greyjoy and his
That's
sister.
right.
Oh, the Greyjoys.
That's
Joyce
right. The
Daenerys,
Greyjoys freaking come and
Iron hit their uncle. Comes
yeah.
and whoops their ass
That's
and
right. That's
they
right.
blow out.
Okay. Yeah. No, that was pretty cool. That freaking ship. It's just like
Yeah.
you just see the Greyjoy on the top of that. I thought that was hilarious. That would have been me for sure.
But okay, that's kind of what I'm predicting for who goes out first. It's like, okay, he's distraught that his wife is dead. He's trying to reconnect with his bastard son the best he can.
He doesn't
and
want it.
naturally, you know, as the guy says, like, you know, I'm following your orders because I am honor bound and a part of the army.
I don't blame him. I kind
But
of like.
Once we're done,
with this,
I'm just leaving.
I'm going back to how I was before, alone.
Yeah.
And like if you put that scene in particular in subtitles, there's enough spacing in the way he speaks where alone is the only word that shows up on screen.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It is
I liked his
fantastic.
character arc too. It was you kind of left wondering like, man, what's up with these two? And they ended up saying like, hey man, listen, you had other kids and they were raised up wealthy, and while I was working my ass off and trying to feed myself and cold,
Trying not
and,
to starve.
I spent
freeze.
20 years or whatever just defending myself and depending on myself and very independent, and like how to make my way through, and I've raised the ranks all by myself, no thanks to you. It's like, no thank you, man. Like now that your kids are dead and you want someone to inherit all this, like, nah, I'm right.
Yeah.
Like I'll keep marching on my own tune.
But,
Like I got respect for it.
Yeah.
I like him.
When he says straight to his face, like, I freaking saw you, like, walking by in your fur fucking coat or
Yeah.
whatever, and I was just like, yeah.
I like it, man. I can dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's my reason why I think he's going to be one of the first few to die, just because
Yeah,
they
I
played
got
it
it,
up
yeah.
at the end of the season.
Oh, because
probably.
they kind of gave him that redemption kind of arc.
Like, they
whatever.
tried to give him a moment of redemption where it's like, okay, if this guy like actually like accepts some of the forgiveness.
I think
he
it's gonna be
changed-
Kristen
He
Cole.
changed the ship's name to the
Queen That Never Was.
Yeah, I think Cole's gonna die early season 3.
Oh, I mean, he definitely probably will. He's mentally distraught, and
I don't know how else you would drag that out.
he is not fit for command.
He's
anymore.
not. He's not fit for command. So yeah, he's probably gonna be dead in the first couple episodes for sure. I would agree with
It's
that.
not just him. Like I think there's gonna be a lot of ground soldiers. They're just gonna be.
Be a
I mean, this
bunch of
entire-
charcoal by the
Yeah.
end of it all.
I think
Like,
the
there's no
dragons are
way-
gonna be going to town. And
There's no way that this entire third season is basically just gonna be one
Just
giant
fights and
battle.
fights and fights.
It's just one giant war essentially. Like there's no way they can just. Maybe they could just drag out one entire war over multiple more seasons, but like this next season, it's gonna start out as a brawl essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably right. I think we'll see some naval battle. Then maybe we'll finally see them meet up, like the land armies meet up in the Riverlands or whatever. So
Yeah.
we'll probably see multiple battles, but they'll kind of split them apart, a few episodes apart.
Yeah, like
And we might see
one's
something
gonna happen separately for sure.
like we left with Allison and Renee talking about King's Landing. It's like I'm sure we might see something with
King's
that.
Landing has been abandoned.
Yeah,
For
so
the
like,
most part.
so I could maybe see the season 3 starting out with maybe with King's Landing, like watching that plot line kind of unravel. But
So yeah, we see Aegon leaving with the crippled dude, whatever the fuck his name is. I can never remember.
Jars.
Yeah, I don't really care about him that
Jarvis.
much. Jarvis. Let's
Club,
call- I'm gonna
Clubfoot. His name's Clubfoot.
I'm gonna start calling.
Clubfoot,
I-
yeah. But
honestly, I'm gonna start calling him Jarvis. But they leave King's Landing, and then we actually see Otto Hightower.
Yeah,
But he's in prison.
I don't know
Yeah.
what's up with that.
I was,
I was confused.
what
I don't
did
know
he
if
do
y'all
to
re-
get
I don't
him?
know. I was confused as
That's
hell.
gonna be fun.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
where
if
he's
y'all
at.
recall
Or,
what I said the last time we recorded a session about this, but I knew that he was going to be brought back into the fold, but I thought he was going to be like brought back into the fold. But we only see him for like a second or two, and he's in a prison cell. So what happened when he went back?
I have no idea, man.
It's intriguing. So
I'm intrigued with that too.
but when they show him, he's in prison, obviously, but somebody's approaching him with probably a torch or a lantern or whatever.
To light it up. Well, he just got made hand of the king again.
Who?
Otto. For Aemon. Like, he's just like, well, I need a new hand. I'm not going to have it be Clubfoot, because Clubfoot was trying
That's
to
right,
convince him.
Aemon did.
And he's just like, no, fuck you. I know what you're trying to do. I want Otto.
Yeah.
Get me Otto. Find Otto and bring his ass back.
Yeah. I do recall that now. I honestly forgot about
I want
that.
my grandpa.
Yeah. That's wild. I forgot about that. So he's gonna become Hand of the King. So that's what that whole lantern scene was about. Was they're getting him out of prison. They're gonna bring him back to King's Landing, and I think he's gonna fuck shit up.
Oh, be bitter because of whatever happens. I hope we see what happens. I hope they show it.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed if they did not. But Otto's coming back.
Oh yeah. No,
At least he's confirmed not to be dead.
yeah.
He's alive.
He's alive.
He's alive.
Kind of reminded me of Stark when he was put in prison in season 1, and the bald head dude.
Baratheon?
No, the bald headed dude who ends up being
Littlefinger?
Varys.
Varys. Thank
Varys?
you. He ends up going to visit Ned Stark in prison a few times, and it's completely dark, and he brings like a lantern and whatnot. That kind of reminded me of just a
Similar scene.
similar scene because he's in complete dark.
Okay.
That's kind of the thought that I had for that brief moment. But anyway, closing thoughts, expectations for season 3.
Well,
I'm ready for it. That's all I'm gonna say.
my closing thoughts
More
are,
Harrenhal.
well,
Piss calling off.
not more Harrenhal. Harrenhal has played its part.
I
Harrenhal
agree.
was there to
I'm joking.
to temper and kind of like reshape, reforge Daemon into being like I'm not going to call him a good guy because he's like a murderer, but
He's back on. He's back on track.
He's back on track. He's back on track, but I think this show has earned both my respect and my willingness to watch the 3rd season.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah, I thought
in a
it's been
show
fun
like
to
this.
watch. I thought it's
So
been fun.
So my thing is, so I kind of have like one big question about one particular thing. Obviously, I have a lot of questions about a lot of the stuff, but this one particular thing that I want to just mention real quick is, so you have Jarvis taking Aegon out of the city. He basically convinced him while he was in bed, like, hey, dude, all of the paths that you could potentially go down pretty much lead to death, except for this one I'm presenting to you now.
this
I got
this one
all,
convenient option,
right? All this freaking gold. By the way, I hid in Bravos. So let's you and I go there together. What are they gonna do there? Is this like a rehab facility they got going on? Are they gonna rehab them and basically come back and be king, or
I don't know.
are they gonna become lovers? I don't know. So that's probably one of the bigger questions I have. Like, what is the plan for the king?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think he's going to escape and then let people kill each other and maybe try his best to come back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I trust Club Food.
You don't
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Jarvis. I don't think I trust him very much, though.
That's fair.
I definitely don't.
No.
I don't freaking like that character. He's getting Littlefinger vibes for sure. But at least I liked Littlefinger because, I knew what his end game was.
Well, Littlefinger didn't try to hide it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knew, like, who, like, he was as a character, both inside the council and outside the council that he was on. So there was no mystery behind the guy. He was just, has so much information, is so deep into the information web that nobody could do anything because he has so much blackmail on everybody that you have to let him do what he wants.
Yeah, pretty much. Wait, hold on. Didn't him and Allison have like a little thing in season 1? Like she showed him his foot.
Yep. The foot fetish. So
Yeah.
maybe he's going to Bravos just to see some feet.
He should start an OnlyFans.
There you go.
My left foot.
There you go.
A lot smaller than my right one.
Once again, we stray further and
likes the
further
feet.
from the light.
But yeah, I'm excited for season 3. Kenny, where can people find us?
Well, if you lovely listeners would like to find us anywhere, you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you stream and download your podcast services from. Leave us a like and a subscribe button press here on the YouTubes. And other than that, next time you'll hear from us, we'll probably be talking about some Deadpool and Wolverine. So look forward to that, folks.
Deadpool's coming.
For sure.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
See you, everybody.
Peace.